Every founder begins with assumptions about what customers want, what they'll pay for, and how they'll behave. But assumptions are dangerous if left untested. The difference between startups that fail and startups that thrive often comes down to one thing: the ability to measure demand accurately. Measuring conversion and validating demand is about transforming guesses into data. It's about moving beyond optimism and into evidence. When you measure properly, you learn whether your solution resonates, whether customers are willing to commit, and whether your business has a foundation worth scaling. This is not just a tactical step, it's a survival skill. The startups that succeed are those that ground their decisions in hard numbers, not in wishful thinking. Measurement matters because it keeps you honest. Customer opinions, while useful, don't equal validation. People might say, that's a great idea, but unless they act, it doesn't mean demand exists. Data over opinions is the first principle. You can't scale based on compliments, you can only scale based on behavior. The second principle is that conversion reveals the truth. Conversion rates show whether your problem solution fit resonates with your audience. If people are signing up, pre ordering, or paying, you found something meaningful. If they aren't, no amount of enthusiasm and conversation will change that. The third principle is avoiding false positives. Without clear measurement, you risk building products on misleading signals. Vanity metrics like social likes or casual praise feel good, but rarely translate into revenue. Finally, measurement builds investor trust. Startups with clear, measurable traction inspire confidence. Investors know that numbers don't lie. Real conversion data is the universal language of credibility. The message is simple: don't trust what people say, trust what they do. There are several key metrics every founder should monitor when validating demand. The first is click through rate, CTR. This measures the percentage of people who click from an ad or piece of content to your landing page. CTR tells you whether your messaging is clear and compelling enough to spark curiosity. The second is conversion rate, CVR. This is the percentage of visitors who complete the desired action, whether that's signing up, pre ordering, or requesting a demo. CVR shows genuine intent, moving beyond curiosity into action. The third is willingness to pay, WTP. This is the gold standard. It measures the percentage of users who commit actual money, even in small amounts. WTP is the strongest validation signal you can get because it demonstrates real demand, not just interest. The fourth is churn and drop off rates. These measure how many users abandon the process before completing it. High drop offs signal friction points in your funnel. Maybe the sign up form is too long, or the value proposition isn't clear. Tracking these patterns reveals where you need to improve. Each of these metrics provides a piece of the puzzle. Together, they tell the story of whether your product is truly resonating. Numbers without context can mislead. That's why you must define success thresholds before testing. For signups, a healthy early conversion rate is typically 10 to 20% of landing page visitors becoming email subscribers or trial users. This indicates strong interest in your value proposition. For paid conversions, even small percentages matter. A 2 to 5% paid conversion rate where visitors commit through pre orders or pilot payments is a powerful signal of demand. It shows that people are willing to put skin in the game. For retention, one of the strongest benchmarks is the 40% rule. If 40% of users say they'd be very disappointed if your product disappeared, you are approaching product market fit. Retention and satisfaction are just as critical as acquisition. It's important to remember that thresholds vary by market and industry. What's strong for a consumer app may be weak for a B2B SaaS product. The critical insight is to set benchmarks before you launch any test. That way, You know exactly how to interpret results and avoid rationalizing weak signals as success. In the pursuit of validation, vanity metrics are traps. They look impressive, but don't prove demand. High page views don't equal demand. You can drive thousands of visitors to your site, but if no one signs up, you've proven nothing. Social engagement can also mislead. Likes, shares, and positive comments rarely translate into purchases or sustained usage. People might love your post, but never intend to buy. The cure is to focus on behavioral proof. Measure actions that require commitment, signups, payments, and active usage. Ask yourself, would they actually use this product or pay for it? That single question should guide every metric you track. If the answer is no, you don't have validation, you have noise. The discipline of ignoring vanity metrics and prioritizing hard proof is what separates real startups from hobby projects. Some of the most successful startups in history owe their rise to rigorous validation. Take Dropbox. Before building their complex technology, they launched a simple waitlist with a demo video. They didn't just count views, they tracked signups and viral referrals. This behavioral data proved real demand and gave them confidence to build. Or consider Airbnb. In their early days, it wasn't enough to have property listings on the platform. What mattered was actual bookings. Airbnb tracked completed transactions as their key metric. That focus on action rather than vanity is what validated their model and gave them investor credibility. Both stories highlight a crucial truth. Real validation comes from behavior, not words. Enthusiasm is nice, but it doesn't pay the bills. Actions, signups, bookings, payments are what provide a reliable foundation for growth. For investors and founders alike, the takeaway is simple. Demand is only real when it's demonstrated through measurable behavior. Measuring conversion and validating demand is the cornerstone of building a successful startup. Without it, you risk chasing illusions, ideas that sound exciting but collapse under real world scrutiny. With it, you gain clarity, confidence, and credibility. The key is to focus on the right metrics. CTR shows initial interest, CVR shows intent, WTP shows commitment, and churn reveals friction. Define success thresholds in advance to interpret results objectively. Avoid vanity metrics that inflate your ego but prove nothing. Learn from stories like Dropbox and Airbnb. Both companies succeeded because they measured real behavior, not just enthusiasm. At the heart of it all is one question: will customers act? Will they sign up, pre order, or pay? If the answer is yes, you have the foundation of a business worth building. If the answer is no, you've saved yourself from wasting time and money. The discipline to measure honestly, act on evidence, and ignore noise is what separates the startups that scale from those that fail. Evidence is your compass, conversion is your truth, and validation is the bridge from idea to impact.